It's Wednesday, April 10th. I'm Jasmine Anderson. Safer drinking water. Today, the EPA announcing new standards for so-called forever chemicals in our water. It sets new maximum contaminant levels for PFAS. This is the first time the agency has set enforceable limits on the chemicals in drinking water. PFAS are linked to serious health complications, including cancer, and are found in drinking water across the island and the nation. The executive director for Citizens Campaign for the Environment issued a statement saying, quote, "We are beyond thrilled with the EPA's new bold regulations on PFAS chemicals and consider today's announcement the greatest public health victory in a generation." Developing now in Nassau, police are investigating after two people were found dead in Newcastle. Police are not saying much, but we do know the pair was found dead inside a home on Roman Road yesterday. A police spokesman said they were investigating, quote, two deaths of an undetermined nature. You can follow the latest on this story on Newsday.com. Still no word whether a student is facing charges today after cops say they brought a BB gun at school in Levittown. Students at Division Avenue High School were held in place yesterday afternoon after an unidentified student was found with the weapon. Police were called in and deemed students to be safe. A new push for reforms to protect children. The Suffolk County Executive and District Attorney have teamed up calling for changes to CPS laws. Ed Romaine and Ray Tierney appeared before the county legislature Monday, urging lawmakers to sign a letter to the governor asking her to adopt reforms. The recommendations were made in a grand jury report released last week after an investigation into the hypothermia death of 8-year-old Thomas Valva. The union that represents CPS caseworkers released a statement saying, quote, "Their safety is paramount and should not be thrown out the window as a reaction that focuses more on scapegoating and less on achieving productive solutions," end quote. Only in Newsday, despite financial dire straits, Nassau University Medical Center handed its ousted president a big payout. The board removed Dr. Anthony Boughton last January. He was given $650,000 for his accrued time off and was also allowed to keep his hospital-issued SUV worth nearly $70 grand and will be entitled to lifetime health benefits. Politics reporter Scott Eidler got a hold of the separation agreement and has the details. Scott, what did you find?
NUMC is bleeding cash right now. I think there will be some people who see a cognitive dissonance here where the hospital is giving a car valued possibly at around $70,000. They are giving a $650,000 check to its former CEO that it ousted. They might wonder why it has to do that. But it's very complicated. It has to do with laws that were written a number of years ago and policies that employees are legally entitled to. But there's been a lot of scrutiny on the way Nassau University Medical Center has handled its finances.
In February, auditors said the hospital was in danger of running out of money by later this month. Heroes needed. One Long Island fire department is in need of volunteers to replenish its ranks. Steve Langford has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
William Geddish is a partner at a Long Island law firm and a husband and a father who in his spare time is second assistant chief at Carl Place Fire Department.
Nobody gets paid. Nobody.
It's all volunteer, just like nearly every fire department on Long Island.
I'd be lying if I said that the rush of being at the front door of a fire isn't the most exhilarating thing in the entire world.
But that fire in the belly that once meant waiting lists for volunteer firefighter candidates is flaming out.
We're struggling. I think other people are struggling.
To try to attract badly needed volunteers, this weekend the Carl Place Fire Department will hold its annual recruitment open house, Saturday at the local high school, Sunday here at the firehouse.
Part of that event will be cutting up a car, doing an extrication drill on a car. So you'll get to see the jaws of life. We'll either hang out on a Sunday and watch football, or guys will play video games together.
It's not a big fancy firehouse they have here, but their sense of pride and accomplishment of risking their lives as volunteer firefighters is second to none.
I don't know any other way. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time.
I never get tired of asking a volunteer firefighter, how do they do it?
You know what? I have no idea.
Thomas Skinner's day job is at the sanitation department in the city. His other mission, being a volunteer firefighter here in Carl Place.
If it's something major, I'll wake up My wife doesn't like it that much, but oh well. Like I tell her, you know, if our house catches on fire, you know, we live in Nassau.
We have 2 engines.
Not everyone realizes Long Island residents enjoy a huge tax savings because of the men and women who volunteer their time and sometimes their lives to help make their communities a better place.
Last week we went to a fire in Westbury. We were out of bed for almost 2 hours. I come home, take a shower, get back to bed, and wake up with my kids to make lunches in the morning.
No capes, just heroes. Steve Langford for Newsday TV.
Steve, thank you. Read more about how to become a volunteer firefighter on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Riverhead's town supervisor is taking aim at Southampton Town's revitalization plans. Tim Hubbard blasted the Riverside redevelopment plans in his State of the Town address yesterday. He's concerned about construction of a sewage treatment plant in the hamlet and up to 2,300 housing units that would funnel more students into Riverhead schools and drain other municipal resources.
This leaves us little choice but to pursue legal action designed to protect the interests of our town and taxpayers. Stay tuned.
Southampton's town supervisor says board members will meet with Riverhead officials on Friday over the sewer expansion. A proposed extended stay hotel in Melville has won more than $10 million in tax breaks. The board of the Suffolk IDA voted unanimously to approve the incentives for the 299-room Ferncliff Hotel on Spagnoli Road. The project's price tag, $137.5 million. It would include suites with hardwood floors, full-sized appliances, a bar, and a restaurant. The developers are targeting a summer 2027 opening. A huge win for the Islanders against the rival Rangers in their push for the playoffs. Newsday's Andrew Gross reports.
The Islanders, a team that very much seemed out of the playoff race just about a week and a half ago, are now very suddenly very much in the thick of things. After a 4-2 win over the Rangers on Tuesday night at UBS Arena, it marked their 5th straight win. The Islanders now solidly sit in 3rd place in the Metropolitan Division, although the Penguins are 3 points behind, and the Capitals, who finally got a win, sit just 2 points behind. However, the Islanders are playing amongst their best hockey of the season, and their 3-goal first period against the Rangers at UBS Arena, by the way, the first time these two teams have met at the Islanders' new rink in 531 days. That first period was probably, and Patrick Waugh confirmed this, probably their best period of the season. Semyon Varlamov, who has played backup to Ilya Sorokin for most of the season, continued his strong play. He started for the 6th time in 9 games and made 32 saves. Again, the Islanders have 4 games remaining. They play the Canadiens on Thursday at UBS Arena. They have a rematch against the Rangers on Saturday afternoon at the Garden that could be physical after some late-game animosity between the teams. And then the Islanders finish off at New Jersey and then home against the Penguins on April 17th. That may wind up as a play-in game for the playoffs. For Newsday TV, I'm Andrew Gross.
Read more about the Islanders and the Rangers on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. A Bayshore man is battling depression through art. It's a story you'll see only in Newsday.
The utensil stuff, I had bought the machine that's over there, and then I was like, oh, well, I have a case of silverware from before I moved in with the person I was living with. So why don't I see what I can make out of these? It's like, oh, this kind of looks like a head for a spoon, and then I started slowly building some stuff. So this is one of the first pieces I did, definitely with the first set of flatware I had. I was living in Richmond, Virginia for 3 years. For a few months, I had some ideations of taking my life, and then eventually I tried to. The thing about inpatient and the psych ward, nobody's on their phone doing stuff. It's a weird kind of reset in a way. The art therapy, that was what I got the most out of. The dance relates to the art. It gives me a lot of inspiration. Dance is about making shapes with your body, so those shapes translate into this medium surprisingly well. It brings me a lot of joy, so a lot of the more joyful pieces that I have tend to either feature dance or use dance elements in them. It keeps me sane, it keeps me active, keeps me social. This one was just a mermaid that I decided I was gonna do one day. It's like, oh, I can make some scales. Oh, a mermaid would be cool. A lot of people, including myself, like to think of my work as whimsical. It's fun because you get to see people light up a little bit when they see what it is. I like getting that kind of reaction out of people, especially when I tell them what it's made of. A lot of times people are like, oh, this is really cool. And then I say, oh yeah, it's made of spoons. They're like, wait, what? I showed up at a party like this. Even just a year ago, if you had met me a year ago today, I was a much more miserable person. The fact that I do get these large commissions and I'm getting a lot of positive feedback regularly, it's hard to listen to that inner voice that puts me down. Between a year ago and today, I feel like a very different person.
Wow, inspirational. Read more about this story on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Checking out your hyper-local Wednesday forecast. Cloudy and rainy today, highs in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, more showers in the forecast with highs inching closer to 60. And here's a look at your future cast. We'll start to see heavier rain move through Thursday and Friday. Looking at your 7-day forecast now, you can see the showers, but looking at our weekend leading into next week, sunny skies and warmer weather ahead. That's what we want to see. That's your 7-day forecast.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries.
I'm Jasmine Anderson. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.